Liang Yu's eyes turned sharp and cold, staring at Qin Chen. His voice was full of arrogance. "Which kid dares to call me by the master's name?" Qin Fen's whole body trembled. Fear was written on his face as he shouted at Qin Chen. Chen, stop talking. Come back with me right now." Then he quickly bowed toward Liang Yu. "Master Liang, this is my brother. He doesn't understand the rules. Please forgive him." Qin Fen wasn't protecting Qin Chen. He was scared. If Liang Yu got angry at the Qin family, the consequences would be terrible. But something unexpected was about to happen. Qin Chen only smiled, resting his left hand on his chest and tapping his chin with his right. "It's only been a few days since you became a second-level weapon refiner, right?" Liang Yu frowned. "What do you mean? I don't have time for this. Get out of the hall now." His patience was running out. If Qin Chen wasn't so young, he would have already attacked. Qin Fen grew furious. He grabbed Qin Chen's arm and shouted, "Go, now!" But in that instant, Qin Chen's ki burst out. Energy rushed into his arm. With just a small shake, Qin Fen was thrown back and crashed to the ground. The hall went silent. Qin Fen roared in anger. "You brat! How dare you resist me!" Like a raging beast, he charged again. Qin Chen didn't panic. He stepped aside calmly and spoke in a clear voice. "To become a second-level refiner, you must forge a real second-order treasure weapon. If I'm right, you made a fire attribute weapon in your test." Liang Yu's confident face suddenly froze. His eyes showed shock. "How? How do you know that?" Qin Chen's words cut deep like a blade. "You used Qian stone as the main material, but its heat was too violent, so you added green charm stone. The problem is, green charm stone is dangerous. It's the source of charm poison. Under fire essence, it doesn't balance, it poisons." Qin Chen's tone grew colder. "You poisoned yourself just to pass the test. If the Kidian Hall found out, your reputation and grade would be destroyed." Liang Yu's face turned pale. Sweat slid down his forehead. But Qin Chen wasn't finished. "To fight the poison, you took special detox pills. Those pills use ethereal flowers, which are cold-natured. Instead of curing you, they only push the poison deeper into your organs. What you're carrying now isn't a cure, it's a slow death." Qin Chen shook his head with pity. "Of course, you wouldn't know that. You're a refiner, not an alchemist." The hall felt heavy, as if the air itself was trembling. Liang Yu's body stiffened, his eyes filled with both fear and fury. Finally, he growled, his voice dark and cold. "Who are you?" At once, a terrifying, killing intent exploded from his body, sweeping through the hall like a freezing storm. Qin Fen and Zhao Lingshan shivered, their faces pale. Only then did they realize the truth. Liang Yu was not just a second-level weapon refiner. He was also a heaven-class powerhouse. Qin Fen's voice shook with panic. "Qin Chen, if you keep talking nonsense, I'll report you to my father. You and your mother will be thrown out of the Qin family." Cold sweat ran down his face as he turned toward Liang Yu. "Master Liang, please, don't be angry. We'll leave right now." But Liang Yu's eyes narrowed. His voice was like ice. "Leave? It's already too late." In the blink of an eye, Liang Yu appeared before Qin Chen. His heaven-level true qi erupted like a storm. His hand stretched out like a giant net, locking Qin Chen's body in place, ready to crush him. The pressure was terrifying. Qin Fen and Zhao Lingshan were blasted back instantly, unable to even stand near. Yet Qin Chen didn't move. He stood tall like a spear, calm and fearless. "If I were you," his voice echoed steadily, "I would not make this move. Tell me, when you circulate your true qi, don't the Tianmen, Baihui, and central acupoints feel strangely numb?" almost like ants biting you. Liang Yu's body froze. His hand trembled mid-air. His whole frame twitched as if struck by lightning. Qin Chen shook his head softly. What a pity, such talent in refining weapons ruined. You're walking straight toward becoming a cripple. Liang Yu's eyes widened with horror. His lips moved, but no words came out. Only a trembling, broken sound. You? Zhao Lingshan's heart pounded. Something was wrong. Master, what's happening to you? Back away, Liang Yu roared suddenly. She froze. Didn't you hear me? Both of you, leave! Liang Yu's glare was so sharp it cut like blades. Zhao Lingshan and Qin Fen had no choice. Shaking with fear, they bowed and quickly retreated. Now only Qin Chen and Liang Yu remained. Liang Yu's voice was low and dangerous. Who are you? Qin Chen's tone was calm, almost casual. It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is, I can save your life. Liang Yu sneered, though his eyes flickered with unease. Don't try to scare me. Qin Chen sighed and turned away. Then there's nothing left to say. I wanted to give you a chance, but if you'd rather waste away, that's your choice. Liang Yu's killing intent flared. You think you can walk away so easily? If you don't reveal who you really are, you won't leave this hall alive. Qin Chen stopped and glanced back, his eyes like sharp blades. Every time you circulate your qi, the poison spreads deeper. Look at your face, the green tint, the pain in your DONGHUA acupoint. Even now, isn't it burning like fire? Liang Yu's expression twisted in terror. His body shook violently, as if he'd seen a ghost. You, how do you know? Qin Chen's voice was cold and final. You have half a month left at best. Start preparing. He strode forward, ready to leave. Wait, Liang Yu's voice cracked. Desperation filled his eyes. Do you really have a way to cure me? Because everything Qin Chen described was true. When he forged his weapon during the assessment, he had secretly used green charm stone with Qian stone. The next day, his body went numb from poison. To fight it, he spent a fortune on a detox pill, but instead of helping, the pain spread through his meridians like knives twisting inside him. And just as Qin said, each time he used his qi, the torture only grew worse. Now, even his hidden acupoint screamed in agony. Liang Yu's eyes widened, his breath caught in his throat. How could you possibly know this? For the first time, fear outweighed arrogance in his gaze. Qin Chen's words weren't just a threat. They were a truth only Liang Yu himself should have known. Liang Yu's heart froze. Qin Chen's words were too real. He could no longer keep calm. Please, tell me how to remove the poison. I'll be forever grateful. His hands shook as he grabbed Qin Chen's shoulder, eyes filled with fear. The place was quiet and hidden. No one saw this. If they had, they would never believe it. How could a proud master like Liang Yu beg a young man like this? Qin Chen looked at him coldly. Didn't you just call me an alarmist? Why believe me now? Liang Yu forced out a smile. I was blind before. Forgive me, please. But deep in his heart, anger and hatred burned. Let me get the cure first, he thought darkly. Then I'll make this boy suffer. Yet Qin Chen's calm eyes seemed to pierce through him. He already knew what Liang Yu was planning, but only said softly, Come with me. Liang Yu blinked. Where to? To your refining room. There's something I want you to make. Though uneasy, Liang Yu obeyed and walked ahead. People nearby noticed how respectful he looked toward Qin Chen, and whispers spread quickly. Who is this mysterious young man to make Master Liang act like this? Soon they entered a private chamber filled with furnaces, ores, and shining tools. The air was heavy with the heat of smelted metal. "Here it is," Liang Yu said stiffly. "What do you want me to refine?" Qin Chen picked up a pen and paper. His strokes were quick, steady. When he finished, he handed over the drawing. "I need 18 needles, exactly like this." Liang Yu glanced at the sketch casually, but then froze. His hand trembled as he looked closer. It was a thin black needle, 3 inches long, coiled in a perfect spiral. Each part had a different thickness, and tiny, complicated symbols covered its surface. At first glance, it looked simple, but the more he studied it, the more it felt alive, like a piece of art holding secrets too deep to understand. Liang Yu's breath grew heavy. This wasn't an ordinary design. It was far beyond the level of a second-grade weapon. Even a third-grade treasure might not match this level of detail. And what shocked him more, the drawing was flawless. Every tiny measurement, every line, every curve was perfect, as if Qin Chen had copied it straight from heaven itself. Finally, Liang Yu whispered, "I am a second-order refiner, but this design is too advanced. How do you expect me to create something like this?" Qin Chen's expression didn't change. "Don't worry, I'll guide you." "You?" Liang Yu looked doubtful, but Qin Chen's calm face was no joke. For a moment, Liang Yu felt as if the boy truly knew something he didn't. "What materials should I use?" "The black stone you just received," Qin Chen replied. Liang Yu's face darkened instantly. "That stone was given to me by young Master An Ping. I was supposed to forge his weapon with it. If I use it up, how will I explain myself?" "I'm getting yelled at. Just tell me." "Fine, just leave me. Stop working on that weapon." But Qin Chen only smiled faintly. "You'll figure it out." Liang Yu's chest tightened. Qin Chen spoke with such calm certainty. But why did it feel like walking into a trap? Fear, anger, doubt. Finally, he gritted his teeth. "How can I trust you?" Qin Chen spoke a short formula, voice steady as steel. "If you guide your true energy the way I just taught you, you'll know." Liang Yu hesitated, but curiosity gnawed harder than fear. The moment he followed Qin Chen's method, his body jolted. The burning pain that had tortured him for days, like 10,000 ants biting his flesh, suddenly faded. Even the sharp aches at his acupoints eased. For the first time in forever, Liang Yu tasted relief, but something about Qin Chen's tone hinted this was only the beginning. For a heartbeat, Liang Yu thought the illness had vanished. But Qin Chen's cold voice cut him down. "It only hides the pain. It does not cure you. The real solution comes after you finish." Relief twisted instantly into dread. If Qin Chen could ease his agony so easily, what else was this boy hiding? Liang Yu's fists clenched. His pride screamed to rebel, but his body craved the relief. Finally, he obeyed. Flames roared to life, wrapping the black Yaoming stone in blue and white fire. Liang Yu's hands were steady, his skill undeniable. Yet no matter how long he worked, the stone only glowed faintly red. It refused to melt. Each passing second hammered his pride. Was this Qin Chen's plan, to humiliate him in his own refining room? Qin Chen frowned. The Yaoming stone was top-tier, icy cold in nature. For a second-order flame, it was nearly impossible to refine quickly. "Sprinkle talcum powder on it," Qin Chen ordered. Liang Yu froze, then sneered. "Talcum powder? That's for cleaning black iron, not refining a third-grade stone. You'll ruin everything." But Qin Chen's gaze was sharp as a blade. "I said add it." Liang Yu's pulse spiked. Why was Qin Chen so confident? Could it be he knew something no refiner ever had? His pride flared. Fine, don't blame me when this fails. He tossed in the powder carelessly, and his eyes nearly popped from their sockets. The dull red stone flared brighter at once. Before his eyes, the unyielding Yao Ming stone softened and melted into liquid. Liang Yu staggered back, heart thundering. This wasn't just refining. This was rewriting the very rules of his craft. And Qin Chen had done it with a single word. How could ordinary talcum powder break the laws of refining itself, he whispered. Qin Chen's cold voice snapped him out of shock. Don't just stand there. Remove the impurities, now. Liang Yu scrambled into action, a ray pen flying across the stage. Symbols poured out, glowing with mysterious light. In moments, a six-pointed star pulsed on the refining table. The pattern's power was incredible. Its power was unlike anything Liang Yu had ever seen. The deeper he looked, the more the pattern seemed infinite, like a door to some greater knowledge. After only a dozen breaths, Qin Chen had finished carving an extremely complex array pattern. Liang Yu's eyes widened in shock. The design was so intricate and perfect, yet he couldn't even begin to understand what the function of the array was. Every line, every symbol, seemed alive, pulsing with power he couldn't comprehend. A chill ran down his spine. Qin Chen's knowledge, it wasn't just above his own. It was beyond anything he had ever imagined, something that might even surpass the limits of the entire realm. Liang Yu swallowed hard, his mind racing. What was Qin Chen planning with this array? It's too slow. You start the array pattern. I'll handle the impurities, Qin Chen said calmly, as if he already knew the outcome. He sipped his drink, then quickly formed hand seals. A faint wave of mental power slipped into the melted black Yao Ming stone. The stone began to vibrate sharply, and specks of dust-like impurities floated away. Slowly, the dark liquid turned brighter, until it shone like a mirror, reflecting his face. Liang Yu froze. This? Impossible. Qin Chen's spiritual power wasn't even at the first level. Compared to his own second-level strength, Qin Chen's power should have been nothing. Yet here he was, purifying several times faster than Liang Yu could. Everything Liang Yu thought he knew about refining shattered in that moment. When Qin Chen finished, Liang Yu finally moved, activating the array pattern. Hum! The patterns Qin Chen had drawn earlier suddenly lit up like flowing neon, filling the refining chamber with a strange energy. Qin Chen extended a finger toward the platform. The purified liquid was pulled into the glowing array, trembling as it floated mid-air. Its frequency rose, sharper and sharper, until the once smooth sphere began to sprout tiny spikes. Guided only by Qin Chen's mind, the spikes grew threads, weaving themselves into intricate forms. Liang Yu could barely breathe. This method, it was nothing like the refining techniques he had learned. Watching Qin Chen work felt like watching the secrets of heaven itself. Then, Qin's eyes flashed. Condense. He tapped the liquid. Poof! The Yao Ming stone exploded into 18 brilliant needles. Each needle shone like crystal, covered in spirals and talisman marks, as though they had been born from the heavens rather than crafted by human hands. Qin Chen wiped the sweat from his forehead, carefully placing the needles into his robe. Finally, the Tianmai divine needles are complete. Liang Yu stood frozen. A third-rank master might not achieve this, yet Qin Chen had done it so effortlessly. Qin Chen glanced at him. 2 crescent leaves, 3 aloe flowers, boil in rootless water for 2 hours. Soak in it each midnight for 7 nights. Your poison will be gone. By the time Liang Yu processed the words, Qin Chen had already left. Silence filled the chamber. Liang Yu clenched his fists, his heart racing. Who exactly is this man? How can someone so young wield such terrifying skill? he felt something strange. A sudden, deep respect rose in Liang Yu's chest, a feeling he never expected toward Qin Chen. He even found himself wanting to learn from him. That thought shocked him more than anything. "This man can't be our enemy," Liang Yu said, breathing slowly. His old anger melted away. If he could learn Qin Chen's methods, he thought, his refining skill would leap to a whole new level, one he had never imagined. Down in the utensil hall, Qin Fen and Zhao Lingshan stared in confusion. Then they saw Qin Chen walking out. "Qin Chen, what did you say to Master Liang? Why is he so furious?" Qin Fen lunged forward, voice sharp. Qin Chen only glanced at him and kept walking. He didn't stop to argue. Qin Fen's face went red with fury. He lashed out and punched Qin Chen. "Stop!" Liang Yu shouted, bursting out into the hall. Qin Fen's punch sent an invisible force through the air. He stumbled and fell to the ground, shocked and humiliated. "Master!" Zhao Lingshan cried, rushing forward. Liang Yu didn't look at her. He stepped toward Qin Fen and narrowed his eyes. "This is the utensil hall. You break the rules here, and you think you can get away with it?" His voice was cold. The whole room grew quiet. Even the bystanders held their breath. People in the hall started whispering. "Isn't he a duke's son? How did he anger Master Liang? How dare he act like that in the hall?" Qin Fen scrambled up, pain and fear mixing on his face. "Master Liang, I didn't mean to. I only wanted to punish Qin Chen for his disrespect. I'll take the blame. I'll have my father punish him properly, I swear." Liang Yu's look cut him down. "Was that man from your Qin family just now?" Qin Fen hurried to explain, voice shaking. "Yes, master, but he's my aunt's illegitimate son. My father wants him gone. He doesn't represent our household." He forced a hard smile and spat silent curses at Qin Chen in his heart. Liang Yu paused. He had heard the name before, Jinhui. The news changed his expression. "Take him away," Liang Yu said finally. "I don't want to hear about your family. Don't show your face here again. And as for your treasure soldier, if you bring that here and break the hall's rules, you won't be so lucky next time." Qin Fen's chest burned with shame. He tried one last protest, but Liang Yu's eyes promised real punishment. He turned and fled from the hall, cheeks wet with anger. Outside, Qin Fen's rage turned into dangerous determination. He clenched his fists and muttered, "Qin Chen, you'll pay for this. I'll make you regret crossing me." He left with a voice full of threat and promise. In the silent hall, people watched Qin Chen go. Some felt uneasy, some felt awe. But one thing hung in the air like smoke. Qin Chen's calm left questions no one could answer. Who was he, really? And how far would Qin Fen go for revenge?
Liang Yu stood in the hall of utensils, snorting coldly. Yet in his heart he wondered why Qin Chen was so talented at refining, yet so low in the Qin family. Still, since Qin Chen didn't speak of it, Liang Yu wisely chose not to meddle. "From now on, stay away from Qin Fen, or I'll drive you out myself," Liang Yu said sharply to Zhao Lingshan. "Yes, I won't contact the Qin family again," Zhao Lingshan replied, cautious. "But you can still observe Qin Chen," Liang Yu added, his mind flashing back to the incredible refinement he had just witnessed. "He is extraordinary. His future is bright." Zhao Lingshan froze, confused. This wasn't what she expected. She had thought Qin Chen had angered Liang Yu, yet now he praised him. Meanwhile, Qin Chen walked alone, thinking. The Tianmai Shenzhen needle had been refined, but he needed a safe place to remodel his meridians. Returning to the Qin residence was impossible. He and his mother were too low in status, and Madame Zhao might send trouble. Any disturbance could ruin everything. After careful thought, he decided. Tianxing College. It was a learning place for Wangdu princes and talented commoners, with special training rooms that ensured no one would disturb him. A quarter of an hour later, Qin Chen arrived at the college. The crowd, towering buildings, and young students gave him a sense of novelty. but there was no time to enjoy it. Every minute was precious. Suddenly, a shrill voice rang out. "Yo, isn't Qin Chen, the so-called pig of blood? Back on your feet already? Life's strong, huh?" 4 teenagers emerged from the woods, faces full of malice. The leader, Wei Zhen, wore a brocade robe, had a square head and big ears, exuding arrogance. He was the son of Wei Qiho, a powerful figure in the imperial court. Wei Zhen and his group often bullied students using their influential family connections. But Wei Zhen wasn't just arrogant, he was strong. Just a few months older than Qin Chen, he was already a warrior of mid-level human rank, awakened to the second-grade blood. Last time, in a duel, he had hidden his true strength and severely knocked Qin Chen down, showing how insidious and dangerous he could be. And he wasn't alone. He had a senior brother about to enter the prefecture level, a graduate from Star College, giving him even more confidence to dominate the college. If it had happened before, Qin Chen would have been furious. Anyone insulting him would have been crushed without hesitation. But this time, he ignored the arrogant Wei Zhen and his 3 companions. He didn't even glance at them, walking calmly around their group. Wei Zhen froze, his face darkening. A cold flash lit his eyes. He dared to ignore me? Haven't I taught him a lesson yet? Before he could act, 3 of Wei Zhen's attendants rushed forward with grim smiles, blocking Qin Chen. "A pig of blood thinks he can escape? Let's see him fight my brother," one sneered, 5th ready. Suddenly, 2 teenagers charged in from behind, blocking Qin Chen's path. "Wei Zhen, what are you doing?" he shouted. A crowd of students gathered at the edge of the woods, whispering and pointing, eager for the unfolding drama. Wei Zhen scoffed. "Lin Tian, Zhang Ying, stay out of this. It's none of your business." Lin Tian and Zhang Ying glared. "Last time you hurt our friend. That debt isn't paid. Today we settle it, Wei Zhen." Then they turned to Qin Chen. "Go ahead, we got your back." Qin Chen felt a strange warmth in his chest. Lin Tian and Zhang Ying were his closest friends at Tianxing College, and they respected him as their eldest. Yet, memories of Feng Shaoyu's betrayal in his previous life reminded him to stay cautious. Wei Zhen sneered, enraged. "So you think you can interfere? I'll crush all 3 of you." Wei Zhen roared, and his 3 companions lunged forward. 2 targeted Lin Tian and Zhang Ying, while 1 aimed at Qin Chen. All were early human-level martial artists, strong but mid-tier. Zhang Ying struggled to block his attacker and protect his friend. Wei Zhen laughed, jumping high and striking him hard. He was thrown back, his right hand nearly broken. "Zhang Ying!" Lin Tian shouted, but before he could intervene, another opponent slammed into him. Blood spilled from his mouth as he stumbled backward. "Run, Qin Chen, run!" they yelled to Qin Chen, concerned yet powerless. Wei Zhen laughed ferociously. "Where can he run? First we'll deal with them. Then I'll teach him a lesson." Qin Chen's eyes grew cold. He felt the concern of his friends, but he would not let anyone humiliate or bully them. With a low hum, he stepped forward, entering the center of the battle, ready to face them all. Can Qin Chen defeat them all, or will he fall? "Ha ha, if this boy wants to die, let him go first." A tall, strong teenager grinned, lunging with a brutal strike. Beside him, another boy, smiling casually, aimed a vicious kick at Qin Chen's lower body. A chill ran through everyone. That leg move was deadly. One wrong hit could be crippling. "Watch out, don't!" Lin Tian and Zhang Yi's shouts were swallowed by the chaos. No one believed Qin Chen could survive. He was sick, barely stronger than an ordinary person, yet 2 top-level fighters bore down on him. His survival seemed impossible. But then, something unexpected happened. A flicker in Qin Chen's eyes hinted at a different story. "You really think you can defeat me?" Qin Chen's voice cut through the tension, sharp and cold. His body trembled, not with fear, but with a controlled, simmering power. Like fish in water, he slipped through the black-haired boy's arms. In a motion as fluid as a river, he turned his elbow upward, delivering a perfect strike. It was not the blow of a weakling, but of someone far stronger than they could ever imagine. From one angle, it seemed the attacker had thrown himself onto Qin Chen's elbow. Yet it was Qin Chen who held absolute control. His movements were precise, his intent unwavering. Before anyone could even react, Qin Chen spun on his left foot. Dust rose around him, twisting into a small, furious cyclone. Then his right leg shot forward like a bolt of lightning. A chorus of screams erupted as two attackers rolled on the ground in agony. The boy who had aimed a kick missed completely, while Qin Chen's leg landed perfectly on him. A dull thud echoed, a chilling warning to all who heard it. Everyone watching froze in their tracks. Cold sweat trickled down their foreheads, their eyes wide with disbelief. No one had anticipated this turn of events. The sick, weak Qin Chen had completely flipped the script. One of the remaining youngsters trembled uncontrollably, his legs shaking beneath him. His eyes were wide, reflecting pure, unadulterated fear. Qin Chen took a single deliberate step forward. A sharp slap cut through the air. The boy flew backward like a discarded puppet, crashing hard to the ground. The sheer force of the strike was palpable, shocking everyone to their core. "Well, you little brat, you dare to hit someone?" Wei Zhen's voice sliced through the chaos, sharp and laced with anger. "Last time I didn't kill you, I guess I was merciful." His hands twisted, moving like venomous snakes. His fingers darted toward Qin Chen's chest, their tips slicing the air like deadly fangs. They were fast, lethal, and seemingly unstoppable. Everyone gasped, their breath catching in their throats. Even students at the early human level found themselves unable to follow his terrifying movements clearly. Wei Zhen's technique was renowned for its speed and precision. "Ha ha!" Wei Zhen laughed darkly, a chilling sound that promised pain. "My yellow level finger, Tianxing finger, even the first move, evil tooth guides the way, will be enough to end you." He envisioned Qin Chen falling instantly, defeated. But then, something impossible happened. Wei Zhen's fingers froze mid-air, suspended just inches from their target. Qin Chen's left hand had gripped his wrist, firm as iron. No matter how fiercely Wei Zhen struggled, he could not move an inch. What's happening? Wei Zhen's eyes widened in utter shock. He tried to channel his ki, but it was already too late. A deafening bang echoed through the air. Pain exploded through Wei Zhen's body, a searing agony that forced a scream from his lips. He flew backward, tumbling across the ground. The entire scene stunned every single person watching. "A brat dares to shout in front of me?" Qin Chen's cold eyes burned into him, a gaze that promised retribution. Wei Zhen's face flushed a deep, angry red. Humiliation surged through him, a bitter taste in his mouth. He scrambled to his feet, trembling with pain, but something strange awakened within him. The power of his bloodline. Someone whispered in disbelief, the words barely audible. "Mid-level. He's just activated his mid-level bloodline power? Incredible!" Another student murmured, awe in their voice. How can this be? His bloodline is mid-level." "Impossible. This is insane." Even Lin Tian and Zhang Ying couldn't hide their shock. Wei Zhen's mid-level bloodline power had struck again. Wei Zhen grinned ferociously, his body glowing faintly red. Yes, the power of the Wei family bloodline. He charged forward like a raging bull. A fist flew toward Qin Chen's head. A faint red light shimmered on it, and the sheer pressure made everyone's hair stand on end. "Careful!" Lin Tian and Zhang Ying shouted, rushing forward. They weren't Wei Zhen's match, but even a small distraction might give Qin Chen an opening. Qin Chen staggered, barely able to resist Wei Zhen's incoming fist. Then suddenly, he lifted his foot. Bang! A dull thud echoed. Wei Zhen's body jerked as Qin Chen's foot struck, direct, unrelenting, hitting his midsection with perfect precision. The impact left everyone frozen. Wei Zhen doubled over, clutching his midsection, his face twisting in shock and pain. Sweat ran down his face as he struggled to stay upright. The sound of the strike seemed to shake the ground itself. Everyone watching instinctively stepped back, a chill running through them. The scene was shocking, almost unbearable to witness. Wei Zhen gritted his teeth, blood trickling from his mouth. He lunged at Qin Chen like a wild beast, his right fist thundering down. Ho! The force was like a hurricane, stronger than before. Everyone's eyes widened. Wei Zhen's power was terrifying. Qin Chen's gaze was icy. "You won't escape," he said. He stepped forward and raised his right leg again, aiming at Wei Zhen's midsection. Wei Zhen's face went pale. He twisted and dodged in the air, but Qin Chen's legs seemed to anticipate every move, blocking all escape. No matter how he tried, he couldn't get away. It was like he was trapped. Bang! Wei Zhen cried out as Qin Chen's kick landed once more, precise and unstoppable. The sound made everyone shiver, hearts racing with fear and disbelief. But just as the crowd thought it was over, Qin Chen's cold eyes locked onto Wei Zhen. What will Wei Zhen do next?